Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2025 a brackets round 1 game 2 matchup between cUstOm and Sigil. I am VT Slacker on commentary, joined with RG365 doing the tracking behind the scenes. Got a good race for you today. We'll get them started off in a second. So a brackets matchup, so no more starting candle. Sigil won game 1 of this best of 3 series. Countdown finishing up, and they are going to go. As we have female Link versus male Link as our sprites today. Looks like, are we on the islands again, or might be a little bit different biome, but it doesn't look like much they can get to starting off. Finding the back of either Parappa or Fairy Cave. cUstOm up and aid, but Sigil's going to try to go through, and it looks like this is the back of Fairy Cave. So Sigil through the first screen, but of course it's the second screen in the drop that's going to be interesting. See if Sigil can make it through in the dark. And our first hint is to go east to find the Reflect spell. And so we have to do all 6 palaces, including P4. That Reflect spell is mandatory. And cUstOm getting a lucky fairy spot there on beep strats, and Sigil is beeping right now as well. But I think Sigil made it through and is in Heart Container Cave. With keys in the drop pool. So out of logic, palace dives might be on the cards. The first item is the candle. And cUstOm finds GP as our first palace. Gonna be interesting routing wise, knowing GP is so close to start that once you finish all the normal palaces, we can just up and A back to start and go from there. No early boots, so it looks like we do have some traversing to do. Sigil finding the Parappa pass through, but it's going to try a different route. cUstOm up and A-ing after getting taken down by a nasty bridge encounter. Found our first town of Mito, just has the magic container. And the glove. Another big pickup there just to get that out of the way. Don't have to worry about it. And find the pass through to the east and a 3-eyed rock sighting as well. Sigil going to keep exploring this west, see what we can find. It might be out of options here on the west, it might be forced east. cUstOm picking up their candle. no more dark caves for either of the runners. Find Saria. It is the good side with the raft. Of course, need the mirror to pick that up, but you're going to check on. We'll first check to see where the mirror is at. It's in Raru. So that should be free once they find Raru. And checking under the table, we have the boots. There they are. cUstOm finding Mito and checking out as well. Not going to head in there without jump or fairy to get down stab. So the west is opened up for Sigil. We'll see what else they find. They've still got to find the other two palaces. A couple other item caves still outstanding. Still haven't found Bagu yet. Sigil now getting that hint about Reflect. Found Bagu, and it looks like also the raft tile over here. Just a heart container from Bagu. Just a little creepy and guy out in the woods by himself just gives you a heart. You don't need to know where it came from. Also another heart container in a Trophy Cave. And Sigil finds Raru, which, like I said, we knew was the mirror. Would expect it's a pickup and turn in as well. And back of Magic Cave is the jump spell. Got a few rooms in the new GP that jump might be required, but also just handy to have. See if cUstOm can take down this red Dyra, see how many points it's worth. 150. Not too bad early on, but... Sigil now in Rudo. No hint from Error. Go east to find the trophy. I didn't get what the spell item is in here. Another hint, Naburu has the magic key. Don't have palace access yet, but we do have access to the east. So that might be our palace access sitting there. With that jump spell, cUstOm will get down stab. As Sigil gets some levels in this 3 or 6 with no items in it. No clouds out front, so no items in the palace. In the maze lies the medicine. So it's one of those two items kind of checked off. our GR tracker for this race dummy was just another hard container on Bruto. So cUstOm heading into Saria should be picking up his boots underneath the table and now knows this is Raft Tile. And Helmet Head guards Bagoo's letter. That not really that helpful, but at least knocks out a item check. I think cUsTom's gonna go talk to the bot back here, see if they got a hint, and then check underneath the table. And there are those boots. As Sigil is in Medicine Cave. Through the first screen, not too bad with the lights on. And 1-ups in the drop pool as well. So the drop pool being a little generous to our runners today. And the shield spell. Now cUstOm in Medicine Cave as Sigil's leaving. Just 100-point P-bags in the drop pool as well. So, no huge amount of experience, but those P-bags will help. Sigil is going to get his raft and probably going to check that raft tile to see where it goes. Going off of Sigil's tracker, though, we're still missing a couple of item caves. This one being one of them. So Sigil checking the raft now, and it does go to Maze Island. With the bridge tile right there as well, and the last connector cave. The bridge going to Death Mountain. And P4 in its vanilla location with 2 items. So we find our first item here on Maze Island. Just a pea bag, and we know the other item is the medicine. cUstOm got that hint, Sigil did not, so Sigil will probably be looking for the second item here. Where are we going next, Sigil? I expect after you get this item, you'd go back to the east. Like I said, there is the medicine. Quick up in A. Go back to the west to go east. See what we can find over there. Yep, as we find Pillar P back cave, this is the last item cave Sigil had not checked in the west. So nothing hammer blocked, it looks like. Just a key. And a 2-item P2 here on the west. I don't know if Sigil saw that or not. He does have it marked, so I'm assuming he does know it, and we know one of those 2 items is Baku's letter. cUstOm picks up their raft while Sigil goes to pick up downstab. Sigil gets the same hint that Nuburu has the any key. To answer your question in chat, the reason you don't upgrade magic early on, or most runners don't, is because normally you can get through the game without using magic too much. The main reason you would need it would be to use the fairy spell to get through doors. So a lot of runners won't upgrade magic until they need it for fairy, or if something good comes along. Then also you could set it up for power leveling later on. So right now with just shield and jump, shield normally doesn't have that much cost to it, and jump is used sparingly. You can kind of neglect magic for the time being. But of course you're always going to be hitting stuff, and you're always going to be taking hits, so attack and life are normally pretty good early on. But cUstOm in Hammer Cave, we'll see what's in the back. As Sigil picks up the Reflect spell in the east that we knew was over here. And the flute in the back of Hammer Cave might come up here on the east, as the River Devil has been upgraded, can block a passage, a walkway, a cave, or a whole town. Be interesting if, let's say, Nuburu was the one that was surrounded by the River Devil. And of course we know that the any key is in there. But there is the River Devil, and it is surrounding a town. Find new Kasuto with just a P-bag. And only 5 needed to get into Granny's basement. Or the fairy spell. So that gives us palace access. Got an islands east, it looks like, as well, so those boots were very necessary. 99 magic to cast Fairy. It is not castable at this time, but would expect... Well, Sigil might pump into magic, or probably start looking for Nibiru to get that any key, so it doesn't have to rely on Fairy. Finds the fire spell. Of course, the fire spell is linked to another spell. Well, that knocks out Shield, Jump, Fairy. I believe Life is knocked out as well. Thunder, and probably Spell as well. I don't know if Zoras are able to be affected by the spell. So it might be a Reflect Fire. Not one of the best ones, especially since we have Reflect, but it will help out in GP, as Sigil finds a 2-item P1, a 2-item P5, leaves, I believe, the other 3 or 6, no, or the other 3 or 6 in the valley. But we find Nibiru, so it's Darunia the one that's River Devil blocked. The Karak disappears with the water, and someone threw a cross in the water fountain. So we will have to go into P4 to get the water to get to the any key. So the fairy spell is the palace access. The Sigil into P1 will pick up a magic level to make fairy castable. Luckily we got the glove early, so glove blocks are not an issue. And we'll go back to get that key. You'll see if they can get through these blocks. See if they can clip and get the last block. Or it's just going to let it go for now. Trophy on Desert Tile. That only is for a heart container. But don't know if that will come back up or not. I haven't seen how many keys Sigil has, but I know he's got a few of them from drops. Including that one. As cUstOm's going through Risen P-Bag Cave. Just a P-Bag in P-Bag Cave, but a juicy 500 P-Bag. There's that magic level I was expecting, but it does have Sigil does have 3 keys in pocket. And finds Horsehead. So first gem on the board goes to Sigil. But Sigil is going to go back in to try to find those 2 items. As cUstOm finds Nibiru, we'll get the same information, that it's in 4, which should tell him that Fairy is somewhere out available. First item in 1 is the life spell. Of course, course, with the bracket flags, the life spell is randomized from 1 bar all the way up to 5. I didn't see if custom checked the fountain because the cross is not marked off. Now custom going into P1. So you find the second item in P1 here on Sigil's side. And it is Thunder. So we've got the items. Sigil immediately up in A's. I think you could have cleared out the east and then came back west afterwards, but Sigil goes back west immediately. Going into P2 first. Fortunately, with custom wrapping around as they did, they're going to fortunately see a lot more rooms before finding Horsehead. So that wraps him back to the room he started in. Custom finding the second item in P1. Fortunately fell down. We'll see it's the Thunder spell. Takes a game over. That will increase Sigil's lead. Sigil has all the magic spells there on his menu. I'd say Sigil found Helmet Head, which I think was checking to see if 5 was possibly an item, which it is not. And Sigil just takes the death now, just not worrying about going in the middle of the fight, and actually is going to take this passageway, possibly looking for an item. Possibly another, or now is having second thoughts about it and taking a death. I think that's just one of those times where you start to do something, have a second thought, and then go back and go, wait a second, my first thought was the correct one. Go kill the boss. You don't need any more items. Now going to go back up because here Sigil is 70 points short. Going to try to get the last 70 and get the level here. Sigil's trying to jackhammer past through these bubbles, as cUstOm has finally found Horsehead. cUstOm with their first gem. Funny he went up and got the level, but now is still 50 behind on the current level. So we'll only get 50 points from this gem. Probably did not want to backtrack too much. But now up to Magic 4. As cUstOm picks up their fire spell. Sigil onto the maze. The hammer is the first item immediately in P4. cUstOm does have the flute. We'll be going into Old cUstOm, excuse me. Just a magic container. Knew it wasn't a required item. Magic container will help. There's the water in P4 that we knew. That leads to the chain to get the any key. cUstOm gets a fairy spell, luckily because of that one magic jar in Old cUstOm. cUstOm is going to go and pick up this P bag from the old man in New cUstOm. Worth 500, but looks like he is setting up for a power level. Possibly get attack 6 on next gem. But still a palace and I would say a half behind Sigil. Here's one of those rooms where jump is required. Because of that glove block up top, you cannot ferry through it. Don't know if that's on the path to Karok or not, but if it is, then jump is required. Sigil barely making it over the crumble bridge. Has run into a dead end, so up in A. cUstOm in P5 right now. Does have the hint that Reflect is in the east, so shouldn't be doing too much item hunting here in 5. Just one up as the first item in P5. And a nice fairy save on the crumble bridge there, but gotta dodge some shots before getting out. Just the standard 3 bars on the life spell. Sigil's been having trouble finding Karok. And there's the second item in P5. Once again, this crumble bridge item room. Just a magic container. Once again, welcomed but not necessary. cUstOm wanted to try to ferry this room, but didn't have enough magic for it, but is able to just get through normally. Still looking for bosses, and there is Karok finally for Sigil. I don't know why Sigil tried to block one of those shots with his butt, but it happened. It happened. Barely gets a win over Karok as cUstOm finds Guma. And 60 points short of a level for Sigil, so he's going to try to find some experience. I don't know if he had any keys in reserve. There is the heart level, or the life level, and then we'll go put in the gem for P4. Sigil with the up and A back to start. I think he would go into the 3 or 6 here on the west. It's the next stop. Or it could be heading over back east. Both are possible options, right? He's going to go back east. While cUstOm continues the fight against Guma. Last hit. Oh, last hit for Guma. And Sigil going to check the spell tower. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh, Sigil tried to ring the doorbell, but didn't get it off in time. And the child back here in Spell Tower. Don't know if we've seen Darunia or not. You know, cUstOm is still looking for the Reflect spell, which I'm pretty sure they've checked all the other item locations, so they know it's the water tile. There is Reflect for cUstOm. I think Sigil is looking for Darunia. Like I said, I don't think we've seen Darunia yet. That'd be the only reason not to go into these palaces right now, is to go get upstab first. No, he's going to go to Naburu to turn in the water to get the any key. cUstOm is in Darunia, and we'll pick up upstab. There's the magic key for Sigil. Will free up his magic for stuff like shield and life. Now, Sigil into P5. cUstOm has everything necessary for palaces. Are they going to clear out the palaces here in the east, or go somewhere else? Actually, he's going into the Valley of Death. Well, they have cleared 5, excuse me, they've cleared 5 and 1, so the only thing left in the east is the Valley of Death. First item there for Sigil, the one up that we knew it was there. Still don't know if this is a 3 or a 6 yet. On custom side, it is P6. And custom going to take this drop here. And another one, didn't really have much place to land on. But drops have to go either back to the front of the palace or to the boss. So taking a drop is normally a good idea. Sigil on the path that custom took in P5. Find the smiley face dead end room on custom side. It's still going left. We need to go elevator or right to get to Barba. Unfortunately, gets dunked into the lava. Who put that hole there? That's not nice. Sigil going very aggressive against Guma. We have the outdoor venue, which means there's Barba. Down goes Barba. Attack 6 went through him pretty well. So for a short amount of time, we will be tied up on gems. Now custom is going to power level from here. Go up to 646. Sigil is headed for the Valley of Death and P6. Custom heading over to P2. First for a stop off by GP, to remember it's GP. Ooh, and custom gets caught on the double bridge encounter. So, cUstOm has left P2, then probably will go to Maze Island for P4, come back for P3, and then GP. Sigil just has 6 here, then we'll go back west for P3, and then finish with GP. But Sigil's still with that 1 palace lead. We'll see how much time cUstOm can pick up, possibly in P4. We knew Sigil had a lot of trouble finding Karok. cUstOm not even touching Bagu's note. cUstOm getting bullied by that blue iron knuckle. Almost took a death there. Should be finding Helmet Head soon. But Sigil is definitely on the path that cUstOm took to get to Barba. cUstOm will pick up a double level here. Well, it looks like they'll be at 6.5 or 6.66 on levels. And we're back tied up on gems again. Nope. cUstOm heading to P3. Forgot P3 was located south of P2, so surprised Sigil did not finish P3 after finishing P2. Yeah, cUstOm does not have the any key that Sigil has, so does have to spend time picking up key. There is gem number 5 for Sigil. So it looks like both of them will be in P3 at the same time. Our tracker RG noting in chat that Sigil does not have upstab. So if we get an upstab block room, especially the S version that stops the upstab glitch, could change the outcome of this race. Found Rebo. Quickly unseats the horse and then quickly kills Rebo. This attack 6 has been melting bosses. cUstOm off to the island for P4. See if they have as much trouble as Sigil did in P4. Death for Sigil 2. Doom Knocker. Still got plenty of lives in reserve. cUstOm definitely not picking up that hammer. Doesn't need it. Just P4 then GP for him. But Sigil has found Rebo. See, might be right at the hour mark to get into GP. Just 566 is the final level versus 667 for cUstOm right now, with the gems still left to go. So 59-37 curtain up. Starting with a long elevator with a bunch of paths like branching off of it. So you take this elevator back down and see all the branching paths again. Sigil's gonna go back up and take one of these higher up paths. Just in case we run into the drop. And nope, back down we go. With the bracket flags, it's a minimum of 12 rooms from start to Darkling, counting both of those rooms. And there is Thunderbird. And cUstOm has found Karok. So we'll be in GP, but a few minutes behind. Sigil having a little bit of trouble keeping the pendulum. But does get Thunderbird down. We'll see how many rooms it is behind Thunderbird. Oh, a good amount of them were lost back with his elevator rooms. Took a big hit from that orange chicken. Not going to go pick up the ferry, or yes, for now we're going to go pick it up. $63.05 for cUstOm getting in there, so about a little under 4 minutes, about 3.5 minute difference. Down stab block. It's not an up stab block. And there is Darklink. GG's in chat for Sigil as they take this race and the set. I believe they are set to face Chadbert in the next round. Welcome Raiders, coming right at the end of this race. I'll finish with a time 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 39 seconds. And we'll see if they want to come in for an interview. cUstOm on Thunderbird fight. And welcome in our race winner, Sigil.
Thank you.
GG's. What'd you think of the
Thank you. I was afraid I was going to be upstairs blocked.
I was wondering if you thought about that. If you thought about Did you even get see Darunia? Or
No, I didn't
um,
see it.
it's south of the Three-Eyed Rock.
Oh,
Custom did find it. Custom does have upstab.
yeah.
But I think the point of this race was, other than pretty much being very close, very linear, you finding the boots early before Custom did.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit more exploration in the west, but other than that, it didn't seem like there was anything too crazy out there.
Nah. I was just thankful Fairy went down after a while.
Yeah, you got Fairy early and just with 99 magic to
Yes.
start off with. So I believe you have Chadbert next.
Yup. A wonderful reward. Yeah, I do have Chadbert next.
Yep. Don't know if you raced against Chadbert during the Swiss.
I haven't. So it'll be the first time I'm racing him in this tournament. But yeah, no. When I saw that one room right before Darklink, I was just like, well, I'm going to be up in A-ing if this ain't it.
Yeah, so that it was downstab block. Luckily, it wasn't the other direction.
Yes.
Also, you seemed to have a little bit of trouble in P4. Had to take a couple of up and A's in there or dead ends.
Yes. I felt like that's my only bad round at Palace.
Yeah, I mean, we got the times on screen. You can most of them were 4 or 5 minutes, except for that 8 minutes in P4.
Yeah. I also think in P4, I was also looking for the item. Since I knew water was in there.
Yeah, Custom didn't get the any key. Didn't get the water, and he didn't get the any key.
Yeah.
And Custom unfortunately took a game over and has forfeited. See if they want to come in or not. Yeah, unfortunately got bodied by that orange chicken on the above the lava. I think you actually took a nasty hit from it as well.
Yeah, I did. I was lucky it was a fairy room.
Yep, made it to the other side. Stared down a rope for a little bit, a little bit too long.
I think it was more of I wasn't sure if the fire-breathing bird was dead. I didn't want to get bopped by the fire.
And joining us now is Custom. GG's.
Yo, GG. You.
GG's.
Yeah, I saw unfortunately take that death to that orange chicken right now over the lava.
Yeah, I saw enough.
Yeah, I think it's just a couple more rooms to Darklink. So your thoughts on the Seed Custom?
I felt like I just did everything slowly. Like, I didn't think it was very complicated. Like, you got the hint that Reflect was in the east. Thunder was in one. what else? Fairy was somewhere in the east. I think it was in one of the towns. I had the horn out of Hammer Cave. I don't know. Like I felt like I got everything I needed, and I kind of did everything in the right order. I just didn't do it very fast.
Where was the hint for Thunder?
I didn't have a hint for Thunder. I just found it in one.
Okay.
There was a hint for Reflect.
Yeah, I saw that.
Both had that. But you did bring up a point that just thought about. You went through Hammer Cave where Sigil did not. Sigil picked up his 5th magic jar somewhere else. You luckily got it in Old Kasuto, which was River Devil blocked, right before New Kasuto to get the Fairy spell. Because Fairy was in Granny's basement under 5 jars.
That's right. Yeah, and I remember thinking, I was like, ooh. Because at that point, I felt like I was kind of like, I had like some dumb deaths early on, and I was like, maybe this gives me an edge, because this is the one magic container I had to get into the basement. But yeah, otherwise the flute really didn't do anything.
Yeah. I got my magic container from Mito.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, medicine on the maze, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Sigil went back and turned that in while getting downstab. That gave him 5 jars to go into Granny's basement, but yeah, other than that, like I was telling Sigil, there didn't seem to be any like craziness in this seed. Everything was pretty accessible. I think one of the other points, like I said, you went through Hammer Cave where Sigil did not, and Sigil got the boots a little bit earlier than you did. Just one of the ones where it's you pick a direction, and unfortunately the boots are in that direction. So you had a little bit more exploration in the west before you did. I didn't see time-wise. I know, as I was saying, Sigil had a little bit of trouble in P4, which you seemed to get through a little bit easier, but I don't know if there was a palace you had some issues. You had attack 6, which seemed to be going through bosses like butter.
Yeah, I really feel like it was like the first 20 minutes that tripped me up. Like I said, I had some early deaths, but yeah, once I got my like attack 5 felt good, and then yeah, I got attack 6 off a gem, and then I felt like all my palaces went well. Like I feel like I wasn't like lost in any of them for a while. I felt good about when I did level 5. Like it was one of those situations where like my stats kind of felt low for my level, like for my skill level to do Guma, but I was like, well, 5 is right here and I have everything I need. Like I have to just do it. And like luckily like the 1-ups were dropping, so I had a couple of tries to do Guma. So everything about the palaces felt well, because to me on my end, what felt like held me up was I just had a slow start.
Yeah, I just couldn't. After a certain point, I ended up putting levels into magic just so I was able to cast Fairy decently. So I was never able to really get past 4 until the end. Attack 4.
Yeah, you were at attack 4 for a while, and about the same time custom was at attack 6.
Yeah.
So, did have the level advantage there, but fortunately the exploration and routing advantage gave you the win here, Sigil.
Yeah. Attack 4 did not feel good.
So, Custom, you'll be going to the NIT if you want to take that invitation.
Yeah, I'll probably play it. I know I'm primarily a Z1 player, and we have our winter tournament starting up. But I have fun playing Z2. I've enjoyed my experience with this tournament, so I'll probably get it. Go for at least 2 more games and join the lower bracket.
I'm sure you're going to do well in there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I know we have a few Z1R players here in Z2. So, definitely glad to see y'all joining the tournament. But any final thoughts before we sign out?
I just want to thank you for the restream. And
Yeah,
for everyone who
appreciate
did comms and tracking.
Not just me on comms, but definitely want to thank our tracker RG365 for working behind the scenes, and definitely if you can give Sigil and Custom a follow. I know they would greatly appreciate it. Let's see who we can raid. It looks like J Dubs is doing a Zelda 2 all keys run, trying to get a PB. So let's go over there and cheer them on. Our next race is, I believe, Thursday. Let me check the schedule real quick. Yes, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So just for your time zone, that is Malkior versus Patrick. We'll try to see if we can get that on live on a channel or possibly a VOD restream. But we'll see what happens from there. But other than that, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.